Good morning, children. Today we are moving to the seventh lesson in history, that is Marathas. Okay, when we get the name of the Marathas or when we remember the Marathas, who do we remember? We remember the Maratha king, that is Chhatrapati Shivaji. Chhatrapati Shivaji, we can say that. Okay, is a very popular Maratha leader and a king, we can say. Okay, so in this lesson, we are going to study the childhood of Shivaji, then his ideals, the way he resisted or he fought against the Mughal and the Bijapur army, and how he established the Maratha kingdom, and his administrative measures. What are the administrative measures he took? Okay, that are explained in this lesson. Let's read one by one. So when the Mughals were powerful, that means very powerful in North India at this moment, that means the Mughals, that means Mughals and the Marathas, they had a clashes between them, and at this juncture, Shivaji, he founded the Maratha kingdom. He founded the Maratha kingdom. Okay. So what I mean to say is, when Mughals were at the supreme power in North India, no doubt there were clashes between the Marathas and the Mughals for the power. Okay, at this juncture also Shivaji, he rose to find a Maratha kingdom. Okay, and finally he succeeded in finding the Maratha kingdom, we can say. So, his childhood year. Shivaji was born in Shivaner Durga near Pune. His father was Shahaji Bhonsle. Okay, he was born in Shivaner Durga near Pune. His father was Shahaji Bhonsle. Shahaji Bhonsle was working under the what do you call that, Sultan of Bijapur. He was working in the high position under the Sultan of Bijapur. Shivaji grew up. Shivaji, he grew up under the what do you call that? Under the care of his mother. Under the care of his mother, Jijabai. Jijabai. Whereas his tutors Dadaji Kondadev and Tanaji Malsure taught him the lessons of warfare. Okay, Dadaji Kondadev was the Gurudev of Shivaji, whereas Tanaji Malsure was the person who taught him uh, the warfare, the lessons of warfare. That means how to be, what a leader should possess, what are the qualities of a king and a leader, and how he has to deal with the enemies, and all the political tactics that he taught all these things to Shivaji, we can say that. Okay, in the beginning, Shivaji assembled the Maratha leaders and the Malavas. Malavas are nothing but the tribal people of the Western Ghats. Okay, and with the help of them, he built a strong army. With the help of them, he built a strong brigade or the army, we can say that. Okay, so whom did Shivaji assemble? Shivaji, in the beginning, Shivaji assembled the that means he gathered the Maratha leaders and the Malavas. Who were the Malavas here? Malavas are nothing but the tribal people of the Western Ghats or Sahyadri mountain ranges. And with the help of them, he built a strong army. We can say that he built a very small army, we can say, right? Then footsteps of Shivaji. Then how did Shivaji become famous? Okay, let's see here. At the age of 19, Shivaji captured Torana Durga, which was under the control of the Adil Shahis of Bijapur. See, just at the age of 19, Shivaji, he gave a defeat. He gave a defeat to the Sultan of Bijapur. That means Adil Shahis of Bijapur, and he captured Torana Durga, the fort belonging to the Adil Shahis of Bijapur. Okay. After this, he won Raigada, Simhagada, Pratapgada one by one. After getting Torana Durga from the Sultans of Bijapur, after that he went on conquering or capturing one fort after the another by name Raigada, Simhagada, Pratapgada. Okay, so totally 4 forts were taken by Shivaji. That means the 4 forts that belonged to sultans of what do you call that? Sultans of Bijapur were taken now by Shivaji. We can say that. Okay, enraged by this, the Sultan of Bijapur sent his general Afzal Khan to suppress Shivaji. Okay, what do you call that? The Sultans of Bijapur or the Sultan of Bijapur, he was not at all happy with the Shivaji. He was not at all happy with Shivaji because regularly he was going on capturing his forts belonging to the Sultans of Vijaypur or Bijapur. Okay, so he sent his so the Sultan of Bijapur sent his general Afzal Khan to suppress Shivaji, either to come to an agreement or to kill Shivaji. He sent one Afzal Khan with the intention of with the intention of either to suppress Shivaji or to come to an agreement with him or to kill Shivaji. Okay, Afzal Khan, the person, the general. Okay, general of what do you call that? Bahmani Sultan or Adil Shahi Sultan, Afzal Khan. He wanted to kill Shivaji decidefully, so he invited Shivaji under the pretext of reconciliation. Okay, so Afzal Khan, he made an plan. He made a plot that he will call Shivaji for reconciliation or for a compromise or for what you call okay, for a compromise, and there he will kill Shivaji. He decided to kill Shivaji. Okay, expecting this, Shivaji killed Afzal Khan with Vyagraha Naka. Okay, tiger. It is called as tiger claws, a weapon that he had hid with him. That he had hid with him. Okay, so I will tell you that how Shivaji killed Afzal Khan. So here, when Afzal Khan invited Shivaji to meet at some fort or at some place, so when they met each other and greeted each other by embracing, when they were when they greeted each other and embraced each other. Okay, so here Afzal Khan had a plan of plunging is what you call that, plunging a dagger into Shivaji's body. Afzal Khan wanted to plung the dagger into Shivaji's body, but Shivaji was well known about that. Shivaji was well known about that, and the character of Afzal Khan, before Afzal Khan could plunge the dagger into Shivaji's body, Shivaji plunged the tiger claws into rivals body, in the sense here Afzal Khan's body, and torn his body and dragged his body. He not just plunged the tiger claws into body, but he plunged after plunging the tiger claws into the body. He torn his body and dragged Afzal Khan's body, and this is how he killed Afzal Khan, the general of Sultan of Bijapur. We can say that. Okay. On learning these advancements of Shivaji, Aurangzeb sent a general of uh, Deccan province, Shaista Khan, to curb him down, but clever Shivaji was able to defeat Shaista Khan. See, who was in the north? In the north, there were the Mughals. In the north, there were the Mughals who were at high power, who were having the supremacy in the North India. So now it is just like an alarm. It is just like an alarm to the Aurangzeb, who was the master of vast territory or a vast kingdom. We can say that. So, or a vast empire. So to him, it was like a warning. It was like a warning or an alarm bell. Okay, so that made him to send one Shaista Khan, his general of Deccan. Shaista Khan was the general of Aurangzeb in the Deccan. He was sent by Aurangzeb. He was sent by Aurangzeb to curb down the power of Shivaji, to curb down the power of Shivaji. But clever Shivaji was able to defeat Shaista Khan. Okay, So, but Shivaji, he defeated Shaista Khan. How he defeated Shivaji? Let's see here. Shaista Khan had stayed at the palace of Pune to attack Shivaji. He could not get hold of Shivaji, even waiting for 2 long years. One night, Shivaji, in disguise along with his soldiers, entered the living quarters of Shaista Khan and attacked him. Khan somehow escaped the attack but lost his thumb. In panic, Shaista Khan fled from Pune. So, when when Aurangzeb sent Shaista Khan to curb down the power of Shivaji or to kill Shivaji, Shivaji hid. That means he did not come directly in front of Shaista Khan. He did not come directly in front of the Shaista Khan because Shivaji was what do you call that? He was very adept in guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla warfare, just like a fight that takes that looks like a hide and seek game. Hide and seek game. Okay, so he was very clever in guerrilla warfare, so he avoided the direct fight. Shivaji avoided the direct fight, and the Shaista Khan, who stayed in Pune for 2 long years, did not meet the Shivaji. One day when Shaista Khan was asleep at the stroke of midnight, we can say that, okay, when he was in deep sleep at what do you call that, at around 2 a.m. or something like that. Okay, Shivaji in disguise along with his men. Shivaji in disguise. Okay, Shivaji in disguise along with his men. He attacked surprisingly on Shaista Khan. He attacked surprisingly on Shaista Khan. Okay, so due to this, this what you call that, Shaista Khan barely escaped from the death, but lost his thumb. And he ran away. That means he fled that place and ran away. He fled that place and ran away. We can say that. Okay, this is what Shivaji did to um, Shaista Khan, the general of Aurangzeb. Okay, and after that, when the news of Shaista Khan's defeat reached Aurangzeb, he got maddened. Or he was stunned. So he sent a huge army under the leadership of Raja Jaisimha. Raja Jaisimha was successful in defeating Shivaji. Raja Jaisimha was successful in defeating Shivaji, and he captured a few Maratha forts. At the end, Jaisimha invited Shivaji to Delhi to come to have treaty with the Aurangzeb. Okay, Aurangzeb arrested Shivaji on his arrival and kept him in the prison of Agra. But Shivaji played a trick and escaped from jail and reached his capital. We can say that. Okay, so here, after the defeat at the hands of Raja Jaisimha, after the defeat at the hands of Raja Jaisimha, it is called as the Battle of Purandar. There was a treaty made between Raja Jaisimha and the Shivaji. Shivaji agreed to give for some forts and some horses to the Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb. It is called as Treaty of Purandar. It is not mentioned here. So as a result, and Raja Jaisimha, he advised Shivaji that if he could, that Shivaji, if he could meet Aurangzeb in his court, he could be given the governorship of Deccan. And when Aurangzeb, sorry, and when Shivaji he went into the court of Aurangzeb, and that means the treatment given to him was very humiliating. Okay, he was asked to stand against the lower classes mansabdars. In this retaliation of words or something like that, Aurangzeb, uh, he ordered the what do you call that? He ordered to capture Shivaji. Okay, so Shivaji, he became the that means he was imprisoned. Shivaji was imprisoned by Aurangzeb in the and kept in the Agra prison, in the prison of Agra, we can say that. Okay, but Shivaji, he played a trick and escaped from jail and reached his capital. How it is, Shivaji pretended himself to be ill, and he sought the permission, and that if he could give the sweet sign, sweets, okay, sweets and other grains to the poor, so that he could be well, so that he could be fine. Okay, as a result, when the what do you call that, the baskets of sweets and fruits started to come to the Shivaji, where he used to touch all those things, and then those things were dispatched. So one day, when the security was little bit weak, at that time Shivaji's men got successful, and they emptied one basket of fruits or the sweets, and Shivaji hid himself in it, and he escaped from there, and he went in a disguise of a sadhu or something like that, and finally he reached his capital Raigad. Okay, and after that he went on conquering one after the another, and there he took that what do you call that title, Chhatrapati. There, after reaching Raigad, he crowned himself as Chhatrapati. Okay, and from there he fought against the Mughals, and what all the forts he had surrendered to the Mughals at the time, at the during the time of Battle of Purandar, or due to in the Treaty of Purandar, he got all back. He got all the forts one by one, and even he attacked the port of Surat, and amassed a lot of wealth from the Mughals. We can say that. Okay, Raigad was the capital of the Shivaji. We can say that. This is how he escaped from the clutches of Aurangzeb, and reached the capital, and then started to attack the Mughal kingdom one by one, collecting. That means he went on attacking the forts and conquering the forts. Okay, example is that he attacked Surat and amassed huge wealth from there. We can say that. So this is the picture of fort of Shivaji, Raigad. Okay, you can see this picture. It is Raigad, fort of Shivaji. Next, coronation of Shivaji. Already I told you that. Okay, Shivaji was conferred with the title Chhatrapati. Okay, and was crowned king of Marathas in a lavish ceremony. Okay, king of kings, we can say that, right? Soon after the coronation, Shivaji, he won the forts like Jinji, Vellore, and large area of Mysore province, and received a huge tribute, or heavy tributes, we can say that. So which are the places that he conquered after being crowned as Chhatrapati, or the taking the title of emperor? Jinji, Vellore, and what do you call that? Large areas of Mysore provinces. Mysore provinces belong to the Vadayars. Okay, Vadayars, Tipu Sultan, and what do you call that? Hyder Ali, we can say that. But Shivaji could not live long to witness the grandeur of the Marathas. Shivaji did not live for a long time. After suffering from 3 to 4 weeks long of fever, he was suffering from seriously suffering from fever, and he died of fever, Okay, so he could not witness the popularity of the growing popularity of the Marathas, we can say that, right? I hope you are all getting me. So, administration of Shivaji. This is the last, we are here to end the lesson. Administration of Shivaji. There were 8 ministers called Ashtapradhans to assist him in administrative matters. Okay, what are the 8 ministers of Shivaji called? They were called as Ashtapradhans. Ashtapradhans. Okay, like Krishna Devaraya's court, there were 8 poets called Ashtadiggajas. Ashtadiggajas. Like that, here we are having 8 ministers of Shivaji. They are called as Ashtapradhans. Okay, The prime minister of Marathas was called Peshwa. The prime minister of Marathas was called Peshwa. Okay, after the death of Shivaji, political crisis is nothing but dangerous time, extremely dangerous time. Okay, dangerous time arose, but it was successfully solved by the Peshwas and smoothened the administration. Okay, so when after the death of Shivaji, there were some what do you call that, political crisis in the kingdom. At this moment, Peshwas, that means prime ministers, they successfully smoothened the administration. That means they worked for the state, they worked for the Maratha kingdom, and solved the problems in a peaceful and a happy manner, we can say that. Okay, so this is how after the Shivaji, the kings who did not, who were inefficient and uh, who were the kings who were in the kings who were inefficient and weak. Due to them, the Peshwas continued the rule, and the Peshwas, they played an important role in the Maratha the rule of the Maratha kingdom. Okay, so some of the important Peshwas here are Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao the First, and Balaji Bajirao are the important Peshwas who ruled Maratha kingdom. Balaji Vishwanath, Bajirao the First, and Balaji Bajirao are the important Peshwas who ruled Maratha kingdom. Who ruled the Maratha kingdom? So this is the lesson, and it is also said that Shivaji, he had what do you call that? He had army, cavalry. It is said that he had many forts under his command or under his control. Many of them were the conquered forts belonging to the Mughals and the Adil Shahis and the other kingdoms, we can say that. Okay, and then his army, then his defense consisted of army, cavalry, artillery, okay, etc. And at the same time, whenever he was going for a war, he used to instruct the soldiers not to hurt the religious places, and even if any religious books or something were found, that had to be given to the to the concerned person who, that means cattle, that means cow, or the cattle, and what you call that, women and the priests were left out of the war. That means they were not taken as the, they were not captured, or they were not conquered. Okay, so this was the policy of Shivaji. Okay, I hope you are all getting me and have understood this. Okay, thank you.